Have you ever thought about building a skyscraper without a blueprint? It would be absolute chaos, right? Well, in software, we often build with just a rough sketch. But what if we could use a precise, detailed blueprint to create complex applications, almost automatically? Okay, let's dive into this. And that really brings us to the core question here. What if all the tedious parts of coding, all that boring setup code we call boilerplate, the configuration, the initial grunt work, what if all of that could just be handled for you? It sounds a little bit like science fiction, but it's actually happening right now. So let's break down exactly what this new methodology is. And to make it really concrete, we're going to look at an actual application that was built using this very principle. At first glance, this looks like any other high-quality modern web app. It's a full-stack to-do list, which means it has a slick user interface on the front end and a powerful server on the back end, complete with user accounts and a database. But the way it was created, well, that's what's truly revolutionary. This new approach is called spec-driven development. And yeah, the name itself gives you a pretty big clue, but the philosophy behind it is what really changes the game for developers. So here's the crucial point. Instead of jumping right into writing code, you start by writing detailed documents. And these aren't just vague notes. They are precise specifications that outline everything. User stories, data models, even API contracts, which are basically the rules for how different parts of the software will communicate. Then, this blueprint is handed off to an AI to do the actual coding. The process itself is a really clear 4-step cycle. You write the spec, then you let an AI agent, in this case one called Claude Quad, generate the implementation. And then, and this is so key, you don't fix the code directly. No. You go back and you refine the specifications until the AI generates the correct output. And of course, you document every decision along the way. So what does an app that's built this way actually look like under the hood? Let's pop it open and dissect its anatomy to see how this all works in practice. Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. When you look at the project structure, you see the familiar front-end and back-end folders. But the heart of the project, the single source of truth, is that specs/directory. That's where all the human-written plans live. It's literally the brain of the whole operation, telling the AI agents in the .claude/directory exactly what to build. And just to be clear, we are not talking about some simple toy project. The tech stack here is completely modern and production-ready. We're talking about the latest Next.js and React for the user interface, with Python and the super high-performance fast API framework on the back end, all connected to a robust PostgreSQL database. This method can build serious, real-world applications. So how does this all connect? How do you actually get from those simple markdown files in the specs folder to a fully functional application? This is where the process really starts to feel like magic. Literally everything, every feature, every database table, every API endpoint, it all originates not as a line of code, but as a clear written plan in plain English. This makes the project's goals understandable to anyone on the team, not just the senior developers. This right here, this is the mantra. It's a disciplined approach that forces clarity and really careful planning up front. It's a massive departure from that code-first, ask-questions-later mentality that, let's be honest, can often lead to some messy, unmaintainable projects. And this is the magic step. The AI acts like a tireless, incredibly fast junior developer. It takes the architect's blueprints, the specs, and just handles the laborious task of implementation, translating that human language into machine-executable code. Okay, enough about the process. What about the results? What kind of application can you actually build this way? Let's take a look at the features packed into this spec-driven to-do app. And the output is incredibly impressive. I mean, we've got secure user authentication, full task creation and management, and all these features that make for a great user experience. Things like optimistic updates, where the interface reacts instantly, making it feel super fast, and smooth animations. This is a polished, professional-grade application. And it doesn't stop there. It's fully responsive, so it looks great on your phone. It ensures user data is kept private. It even has advanced features like voice commands for creating tasks and an analytics dashboard. And remember, all of this was generated from specifications, not hand-coded from scratch. So when you see a complex, feature-rich application like this, built in such a completely new way, it really forces you to ask some big questions about where software development is heading. Now, this approach isn't a magic bullet. It requires a ton of discipline and a real upfront investment in writing excellent specifications. But the key takeaway is that by focusing on the what and the why, developers can leverage AI to handle the how. This frees them up to think about architecture and user experience, enabling them to build better, more complex software faster. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought. If an AI can reliably write the code, does the core job of a developer shift from being a builder to being an architect? Someone who designs the blueprints with such clarity and precision that the construction itself can be automated. It's a fundamental shift in what it means to build software. So, what do you think the future holds?